Got a couple ways to figure that out, Watson. Let's see, Dunne was trapped. Huh? Perform an autopsy. Perform an autopsy on Montague Dunne. Death is suspicious. Why had he forced the door of the Colonial Collection Room? Why had someone clean and empty the room? Was it a trap or a simple accident? It's gonna be a good question, isn't it? Because the kid, I mean, it said the kid was guilt-ridden. So, I don't know. And plus, that might explain why he's wanting to fall into botany. Even though, like you said, it's not his strong suit. Because maybe he accidentally ended up killing his father. Because for all we know, the father may have accidentally locked himself inside that small room. The kid turned on the ventilation system, accidentally put in some kind of poisonous thing into it, and got the dad poisoned. He stumbles out, and bada bing, bada boom.
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunne's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy, then.
Alright, let's cut it up. Ugh. I don't wanna do it, Watson. No, fuck it, though. Hey, how you doing there, pal?
First of all, let us carry out an external examination.
Alright, well.
No redness, stings, or bruises.
Alright.
Nothing suspicious here. There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy.
Hey, pal. Okay, yeah, that's where he hit his head.
There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse.
Man, who left his eyes open?
The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma.
Yeah, so he breathed it in.
Now, let us examine the internal organs.
Oh, don't do that. Don't show me organs. Don't do it. Ah! Oh, actually, this looks pretty tame, but still gross. Lungs. Oh, you took them out! God damn it!
The lungs are congested and edematous.
Gross, man.
The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant.
It's gonna be that big flower plant, isn't it? Stop taking the organs out!
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs.
Yeah, great. Okay, good. Let's make sure. Nothing there. Are we good? I'm kind of tired of looking at organs. Unfortunately, I don't have the best constitution for this shit.
The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction.
Yeah. Okay, another alcoholic.
The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs.
Crap. I'm gonna have to look at the heart again. Because it didn't put itself back. Oh, it's up.
The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs.
Okay. Cool. Oh,
There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death.
I gotta look at the heart again. Where the hell is it? Come on, where is it? Let me put it back.
The heart tissue shows no visible pathological sign.
Okay, great. Now put it back. Close him up, for God's sake, man.
My suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunne, the director of Kew Gardens, Died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean...
Yes, it is murder.
We should inform Lestrade.
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No. We also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunne.
What about White?
And also Miss White,
Yeah.
of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
Yeah.
No.
What?
A few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunne.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
I don't know, I'm kind of expecting this one to be a accident. You know? Dunne was poisoned after being trapped in the Colonial Collection room by the killer. Montague Dunne was affected by inhaling a virulent vegetal poison. Okay. So, find the stolen plants, find the plant used to kill him, inspect Kew Garden staff buildings, get information, find out who killed him, of course. Let's see. So, search archives. And search archives. Alright, well, fuck it. Let's do that real quick. At least that way, so we've got, you know, some kind of answers for questions already. I don't know. It's very likely this was an accident. Because if that big plant is the one I'm thinking of... No, the one I'm thinking of, I think it's just, it stinks really bad. I don't think it can poison. Huh? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, there's letters! Found them. Big ass knife, man. Ooh, Lestrade's guesswork. Mr. Holmes, I'm ready to inform you that the affair at the Abbey Garage, which took place almost half a year ago. Wow, really? Still resonates deeply in high society, remains the subject of much gossip. The case's romantic background has attached many suitors who show willing to shelter and take pity on Lady Brackenstall, but to this day she still serves her sentence with her maid Teresa and has rejected all offers of help. To be truthful, I expect that the true motivation of these suitors may be well related to Sir Eustace's title and money. What do you think, Mr. Holmes? Oh. A lot of letters. Times, a colossal scandal in high society. The well-known and remarkable archaeologist, the pride of our nation, Sir Rodney Bancliffe, has been found murdered. The crime took place in the Roman Baths in Stride Lane, location of the archaeologist's most recent research. But what is most truly shocking is that the murder of Sir Rodney was at the hand of his former friend and partner, Percival Blinkhorn. The death sentence is the only possible punishment for this breed of villain. Okay. Sherlock, dear brother, you have made the most terrible mistake once again. Are you quite aware of the fact that the Empire is at the brink of internal conflict? How could you pass this incredible sensitive case to those feather-brained Scotland Yard bobbies? Very well, yes, they caught the criminals, but have you not read the newspapers? The great fuss that has risen around it? They are generalizing all Mexicans. And as you may know, the Empire has arrangements with a great many varied and loyal Mexican enterprises. You should think about that. Yours, Mycroft. I thought about it, Mycroft, that's why I did it. Strand, the grotesque murder of the former Captain Peter Carey, known in private as Black Peter, has been resolved. The evidence that Scotland Yard received from a trustworthy source is more than sufficient to conclude that the murder of Peter Carey was Pablo Conventero, one of Carey's former harpooners. However, lawful justice could not be awarded. Conventero was found dead of natural causes, possibly from his remorse of committing such a terrible crime. And the last one.
This is where I keep my post.
Why do you still have one there, though? Weird. Alright. Botany. Now I can finally look at the botany. Economics, science, technology, history, medicine? Botany, here we go. Exotic plants. Let's see. These plants have a certain toxicity in common, more or less variable. Yada, yada, yada. Only the first three can be dangerous to humans, particularly Florum diabolica, but only under... It's going to be the great big one. Plants should react in the process of aggression. What? But only under very specific conditions, plants should react to a process of aggression against which it will issue deadly spores.
Here it is.
Ah. How about that? Okay, so, symbol of the broken pot. Gonna be it. To the British architects. Boy. Not really sure I'm gonna find this one. Medicine, I don't think so. Plant hormones. Newspapers. What about research? No. Poisons and toxins. I'm sure we're going to be looking at this one pretty soon. Let's see. Wounds and injuries. Criminalistics. Martial arts. Marks and symbols. Here we go. Divine Syndicate. Divine Scholastic Syndicate for Vegetation Veneration. Members of the Syndicate worship Tyrwin, the God King. They strive to spiritual peace and release themselves from the material world. So generals... What?
Here it is.
The fuck?
The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
See, deadly plants. There we go. Theft and murder. The killers may be those who stole the exotic plants, including the deadly specifics from the last expedition at Kew Gardens. Yeah. I mean, how good of a thing would that be? Kind of like with the other case, where it was, I mean, really, stabbing someone with a weapon that will disappear, quite literally disappear, is ingenious, I think. It's just really smart. And, you know, kind of in the same respects here, killing someone with a plant is pretty smart too. At least I think so. Now, the best thing to do would be to get rid of the plant completely. Maybe. But then again, we already have the body, so we could, I would assume, very easily be able to deduce it just from allegedly the spores in his body. Hey, buddy, we got things to talk about. You're not gonna like it, but tough. Just as soon as the game decides to. Whoa! Oh my God!
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, oh, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunne?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunne led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That and...
And...
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was?
Oh, yes. He forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunne had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunne interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
Why is it that almost everyone who's been murdered is an asshole? The only ones I can think of that weren't, that we knew, we at least didn't know for sure were assholes, were those, the people who drowned in the train. But still.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunne. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Someone's a little jealous.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
Uh-huh.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Sure.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunne's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he is trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
For what he says.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Well, let's go talk to Albert. Albert, talk to me, lad.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
All right.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens. And I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Yeah, fuck that, man. Make your own path.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the Deputy Director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens.
Huh?
My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead.